Was I surprised? Was I surprised to any capacity that people complained about the events of Undead Unluck's first chapter? This, like, it's kind of obvious when you get some of these people and they're like, how could Shonen Jump release this? I can't believe it's got somebody grabbing titties. And I'm just like, you literally look at so many other series they have licensed under their name. I mean, what's the... Oh my god, what is the slave one? I didn't even know that was under Viz. I mean, they have tons of stuff. And even just then, they also got like what is it, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs? I mean, that's way more lewd. And don't ignore the fact that that Izumo was gonna kill herself out of depression, and Andy was able to pull her away from that. It's like, man, I can't believe that this character was able to revive somebody up to like emotionally to the point that she didn't want to kill herself anymore, and you're more concerned about like him grabbing titties. It's ridiculous. But at the end of the last chapter, there was a meteor strike, and they're like, oh, if a kiss is able to do that, like he's pretty much just like, what do you think will happen if we bang? And I'm curious to know what will happen if that happens. It's such a weird concept for them, because I assume it's easy to assume when you have the male lead and the female lead, especially the ones already that have some, little romantic kind of like thing going on. Andy wants it to, happen so he could potentially get his, the end that he wanted. Whereas Izumo right now, she has feelings developed for him, but she knows, like, she's like, how can I have this towards a guy who's such an asshole? He's a dick, and I can't believe I wasted my first kiss on this guy. But, we still have the fact that he's able to actually touch her, and he's not afraid of her whole negative ability, which obviously makes her happy in general that she now has somebody that she could be around. And she doesn't seem that concerned. Like, he's not only, like, she's more of, like, concerned with his personality, not the fact that the dude's naked most of the time, just hanging dong like a champ, and she's just, she doesn't seem too bothered by it. I think that's more of a funny part for me when you think about it. Like, the dude's junk is just all around, just flopping as they're just existing in reality. He's just like, hey, listen, I mean, I'm still alive. I'm glad you're still alive. Let's see what else we can do with your unluck power. And she's like more concerned is, again, like his level of persistency instead of the fact that he's just, massive dong hanging out. But we got some like explanations of this bad guy group and whatnot. They're called the Union. And we see inside of Andy's base, which the exact age he is, we don't know, but he's more than 100 years old. So him having some like large stocked up area, it makes sense, especially when you could just, you don't have to probably worry about food, you don't have to worry about housing and whatnot. It's just like what you can collect over time, and somebody who's tried to kill himself, but also probably has to have a lot of weapons to protect himself at the same time, because he says like a while back he was captured by the Union, and they had him they pretty much had him like tortured for like 10 years, I think he said. And because of that whole situation, I was like, well, you can't even imagine what they'd do to you. They'd probably cut off your fingers to see if they could use them without even being attached to your body, and see what they can do to weaponize them. I mean, I can understand that. You literally have like her finger on a stick. You touch somebody and like run away, and they're gonna instantly die from some horrible strain of bad luck. But they're like, all right, we're gonna get you armored up. We're gonna get supplies, and we're gonna go on the road. Which she doesn't have any family, because we know that like she explains like her. We know her parents died, her grandfather died like a couple years ago, and she essentially like, I like her quick wit when she's like explaining like it's not just, she doesn't want to just like have his level of persistency coming on to him continuously, and she's like, I think the key factor is likability, and she's saying how it has to do with like how much she likes somebody. Like if it's just like they just bang, it might not be the same level, but maybe if it gets into essentially like an actual like love relationship, that it will take the full effect. So he now wants to have her fall for him, and she's like stalling, because I think she's obviously very nervous about the idea of getting banged out by this crazy like undead dude. She definitely has, I think anybody reading can see that she definitely has somewhat of feelings from already developed, but the fastness, as she was already embarrassed at a kiss on the cheek, so I don't think she's ready to get railed out by this dude who's like twice her size, especially. I mean, hopefully the series will live, and I want to see more of this, because like the author is crazy. I mean, literally like the first couple chapters, and I was gonna say the first, but really the first couple. Like we got the second chapter, and they're just like, hey, we're gonna leave now. We're just gonna pretty much go on the road and live on a life on the runaway, since it's not like anybody's shackling you down. There's like a big crack in the sky. It looks like the Union guys have like some form of like spatial manipulation. Somebody on their team does, in order to get to place. You're able to break this little area in space and reality in order to get around. And you have these two characters come up. You have this big dude in a mech suit and this like martial arts like tall guy. I actually thought it was a girl when it first came out, but then it looks like a dude. I thought it was like it's some muscular chick, but instead it's just some martial arts dude, just some big old pecs. And I guess like their powers are, one of them can like still movements and one of them can still wills. Or you essentially got this like, I would say like crowd control, like apprehending combo, which makes sense. And they're like the first ones coming out, probably not the big dogs out of this whole crew. They're explaining though that the Union has 10 members of them that are people with negator powers, but they're exempt from obviously this like pursuit of them. And if they're in like the group, then they are exempt from being pursued. And anybody that isn't in them that has this negator powers, they call like Umas. So they're the ones on the run. But now you have Andy, who's like, listen, I have an idea. If we join their crew, then they can't go after us. So all we gotta do is join up with them. They're like, oh well, we're already at capacity. We already got 10 people. They can only have 10 people. So you guys can't join. And he's like, well, that just means if we can, make some vacancy, then we can join. There's 2 of you. You guys go, and we're good. And so he's just like, he touches Izumo very quickly on the chin, kind of just holds her close for a minute, and then, she runs off, and then you got like this big propane truck just like crashes and skews and looks like it's getting ready to slam on them. I love Andy's like relaxed nature in the face of calamity. I mean, obviously he's an undead, but he welcomes death, and he welcomes like a badass death. So at the same time, I mean, like, I can either die from this in a badass way, or I'm not gonna die in general. But you guys, on the other hand, good luck with that. So I love the craziness of him so far. He's just a wild guy. He has that same, like, the series has that same level of just like unpredictability that Chainsaw Man has. I mean, we're in chapter 2, and they're like, hey, let's join up with the bad guys. If we join up with them, then they can't harass us anymore. It's so crazy in so many aspects. And it's like, we're only at chapter 2, obviously, and it's not like I can predict events that are coming on, because I don't know anything about this author. I don't know how they think. I don't know the tones of the series, but I can tell, at least so far, that it's going to be wild and unpredictable. So, like, as it is, like, it's going to be one that we're not too sure how it's going to build. I just want to say, listen, you got these people that complain about, like, oh, they got all these, like, big titty, like, super amazingly built model, like, unrealistic girls and all these animes and mangas and stuff, Shonen Jump. Listen, you complain about that. A lot of the dudes love it, and some of the girls seem to like it, because I think a lot of them like the, some of the characters to cosplay as and whatnot. But you have Andy, who's not only, like, this crazy, like probably, like, 6 foot something jack dude, but he hangs dong. Listen, let the girls have this. Quit trying to cancel this. I already saw some chicks on Twitter already happy that the main character of this new series is, he's definitely packing, a big weapon, not just his sword. He's got a different piece that he's got, hidden away. Anyway, other than that, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about the series. I think it's fun. I really like the craziness of it. I like the wildness of it. I already really like the interactions between the main characters. I think Izumo is fun. She's a little bit tsundere, but she's not an annoying kind of tsundere. It's more of like I can't be falling for this absolute insane undead guy. And Andy's just like, listen, I know what I'm doing. He's probably swooned like a lot of girls. He's probably, courted a lot of chicks in his day. But now he's got this other powered chick. So we'll see more of what's going on. Maybe more of his backstory eventually, and what other secrets he's got in that head. But these other bad guys, I want to see more of. Like, I assume that these two members of the Union are like their newest guys, the ones that they send out the easiest. Maybe they're not even gonna be like fully like, oh well, we just got on there, so like we're not even full guys in there. And then killed them all. It's like, well, then that means that they won't mind trading out 2 new guys for 2 new other guys. But other than that, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about the series. Again, like, it's still, I think that complaints better silly, because like even if you like, oh, he's grabbing her boobs and whatnot, I can't believe it. I mean, he kept her from killing herself. I think that's a much bigger kind of like thing to look at, is him giving her a reason to live, and really just kind of giving her like a, you know, a light in her dark like years of life of killing people from her power. I think that outweighs it drastically. But other than that, comment below, tell me your thoughts about all this, and I really appreciate the thumbs up the video, from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Man, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and thank y'all for listening. Bye.